we want to make it a lot easier for people, and we believe we've made it a lot easier for people to be able to get from wired up, powered up, and then pumping at that point.
Welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast, a production from Empowering Pumps and Equipment as the voice of the pump and related equipment industries. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charli Matthews. Excited to be here with you. This time of year is so much fun, and I'm loving kind of getting ready for the holidays, getting through our trade shows. I know many of you have several more trade shows, but I'm excited to continue the podcast for a couple more weeks, then we'll take a break. But we have a lot more to share. So today, my guest that I have for you is Edward. Edward, jump on here and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hi, everyone. My name is Edward Tom. I'm a product manager at Yaskawa America. I've been with Yaskawa for just over 20 years. Of that time, I spent some years as an application engineer, and then the last 13 as a product manager. Currently, I have all of Yaskawa's pump drives under me. So, in addition to our industrial side, I also have our intelligent pump controller, the IQ Pump 605 that we just recently released.
Yeah, so we'll get into that in a second. I'm curious, why engineering?
Oh my gosh. I think it was one of those things where my parents saw me take apart things a lot because during the time when I was trying to figure out what to do for what to go to school for, they kind of looked and went, well, you like to tinker, you like to pull things apart. Why don't you get into engineering? And that's kind of how I got into that.
Well, you picked a good route there to then lead up to drives for the pump industry. That's definitely a lot with the equipment side.
It's been nice. What's interesting is drives are mostly, as most people know, more electrical, turning electric motor, all that. I went to school as a mechanical engineer. So came out, I was thinking more mechanics, more building of just like products of some type. But on the back of my mind, I've always thought, okay, you've got to get things moving, you got to make things go. And that fusion of just electrical and mechanical and trying to make those two blend together was always interesting. And getting out of school, working for a distributor at that time, I was out in the field. That's where I picked up I really kind of learned a lot of my things from the machines, mechanics, the integration of the two, and it just got me to enjoy it more and more. And pumping's no different. I mean, you've got something mechanical, it's moving water, but you also have the electrical portion, the drive, just getting the motor turning and operating it. So it's been a nice fusion of the two. I love it.
Yeah, and we have to have it. So we talk about this a lot on the podcast, actually, of how the mechanical world and the electrical world, it's one now. You have to be able to communicate that and have a systems approach and all. And so I'm glad to hear that. And so we did just see the announcement of the next generation of intelligent pump drives, and so excited about that. Let's start there. Tell me a little bit about that and kind of what makes it kind of new and exciting.
So the IQ Pump 605, that one is our third generation when it comes to the IQ pump line. And going back a little bit of history on the IQ pump is that when it came to the pumping industry, mostly in our case, a lot of the agricultural market, um, you would have either a start stop and some type of an external controller to pump and to control everything. And what we found was talking to different customers and from our sales guys as they got feedback is that, hey, we want something that they kept using the word simpler. We want something that's all in one, something that makes it so that I can go turn it on and it runs, pumps out water, helps me irrigate the fields, takes care of all that. And our first generation of IQ pump was developed and designed based off of that. And from that initial iteration, from that initial version, we iterated to the IQ Pump 605's predecessor, the IQ Pump 1000, which we took everything we learned and tried to make it a lot easier. We put in functions in there for those that have long lead or a lot of pipes or long long amount of pipes that they have to fill up. We have a pre-charge that slowly fills it up, gets it so that you don't have any water hammer. Then there's also, and then functions like a thrust feature for thrust bearings on submersible pumps. So we started building all that in, enhancing it, making it so that it builds on top of that. And the IQ 605 takes all of that feedback again as we learn about how different people are wanting to use all those functions, how they want to do that. And in particular, what we really heard is the setup portion, making it easier on there. So as we iterated, and this one in particular, we wanted to make it as easy as possible. So if a person walks up, the electrician gets everything wired up, power's there, and he said, "Hey, we want to get this thing going. We want to see if we can get water moving." Previously, you would have to call one of our distributors. They would get out there, or you'd have them on the phone. Hey, press these buttons. This is what you want to program. And what we've done now is a person can walk up as long as, again, most people need to feel a little bit comfortable. But if you're comfortable, say, using your phone, just moving, navigating that or whatever app on there, it's going to be similar. You walk up to the keypad that's there, you press the buttons that says, "Hey, I want to set this up," and it'll ask you a question. Your motor, it may be service factor amps. Oh, okay, I know what I want there. Your feedback. Oh, okay, it's this amount and scale it and all of that. So we want to make it a lot easier for people, and we believe we've made it a lot easier for people to be able to get from wired up, powered up, and then pumping at that point.
You made me think of going into the like cell phone store just then. I can do it, when they ask you to set it up, I can do it, but it's so much nicer if it's somebody who's been trained that does it all the time. They have a speed to them. So yes, everybody should be able to set up their own phones, but it's nice to have the technician and that the service behind that too. So that's wonderful that I hear you're taking what the customer wants and building something from that. It's kind of that customer feedback model. Uh, as an engineer in that and kind of getting that information from the customer, um, I guess how's it working? How's that for you too? And just engaging with the customer as you implement these and kind of take these to market.
So we just released it, so it is still new. If we're talking about the IQ Pump 605, that is. So it is still new. We are still just getting into the market. But I am getting feedback from our sales force as they're going out, talking to customers, talking to the ones that are currently using the IQ Pump 605. So it is, I'm sorry, the IQ Pumps 1000. So as we get those transitions going, they are talking with the customers, getting their feedback in terms of, "Hey, how do you guys like this? What do you think of this?" And their feel of it. And it has been positive so far, hearing back from them. I do plan on getting out in the field, certainly, just to be able to talk with just how people use their equipment. And then that's how we've really gotten a lot of our feedback. So getting back to the kind of just process of getting the feedback is really just seeing how people use it versus I get some people like to ask, "Hey, how did you like this feature? How did you like that feature?" I like our more holistic approach at times is, "Hey, how's this running? Teach us a little bit more about your application. Okay, how do you interface with it?" And they do give a lot of good feedback when it comes to that. And we're looking forward to doing that as we get more and more of the IQ Pump 605, hearing back in terms of, "Hey, how was it when it came to getting this up and running? Or have you guys ran into any problems and on all of that?"
So y'all check it out, give him some feedback there. So many other products and things that you do there. Tell us a little bit about kind of the new facility and how that came to be, and maybe just some more just about the company in general.
Okay. I'll start with the company in general. So Yaskawa itself is based out of Japan. They've been around for well over 100 years. But Yaskawa America celebrated our 50th. Oh, I should know this, but I think it was about somewhere between 5, 10 years ago. And as we've been here in the US, we kind of operate certainly under our parent company in Japan, but we also operate in a sense kind of independently in terms of how we go to market. And during that time, we've grown. So we went from, and someone's probably going to get me later saying there was a facility even before that, but I know of a facility that we had in Buffalo Grove. I'm sorry, not Buffalo Grove, in Northbrook, Illinois. They outgrew that. They started getting a facility in Buffalo Grove. That's where our drives manufacturing, the actual unit manufacturing is done at this time. I'm located right now in Waukegan. They purchased and built a building here in Waukegan, Illinois for our initial headquarters, I'll say. And we started having a value add. So we had a facility up in New Berlin, outgrew that for our value add, where a lot of our packages are built. Went to Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Shortly, within about, we'll say 10 years, 15 years, we outgrew that as well. And that's where we came, that's where the Franklin facility, our Franklin, Wisconsin facility, comes into play now, much larger in comparison to Oak Creek. And that continues our value add. That expanded a lot of our capabilities when it comes to building the different types of packages, value add packages that we have. So for our IQ pump lines, we build a lot of 3R packages out of there. So now with that added capacity, it gives us the ability to build even more. So the more people that like it, the more we're able to build and satisfy them. But that Franklin facility right now is more for value add. That's actually just one building out of many that we'll eventually have. That area is actually going to be designated or will be designated eventually as our new headquarters. So we do have plans to build a campus up there and continue to push forward to get things consolidated so that we have all of Yaskawa drives in motion under one area and in one location.
Okay. What do you mean when you're saying value add?
Oh, so value add for us is anything taking our drives and putting it into a panel. So you might have one of your most integrators will build their electrical panels. So circuit for us, we usually do like a circuit breakers or some type of power option along with it, like a reactor, both input or output or DV/DT filter, and we'll combine that with our drives. So they're not just getting a drive, but they get a drive inside a box with a slew of other products that they may want with it.
Okay, makes sense. I just wanted to clarify my own understanding. And I think that's great. As we're launching new things and bringing new things to market, you have the space to expand and then kind of a vision to bring everything together there in one campus, which will be exciting because then people can see kind of all of what you do in one space as far as like traveling around and visiting. I like to do a plant tour, so I'm already like got my mind on, okay, let me know when that happens.
Well, I mean, if you're ever in town, you are more than welcome. Just let us know, and we will try to arrange something and get you, have you come through and walk through Franklin. We'd be
Awesome,
more than
awesome.
happy to have you.
Thank you. Okay, so I guess just as we've been talking, anything else come up that you want to leave our listeners with?
Uh, Boy, that's always such a tough one for me. Nothing really came to mind. I mean, I do
Well then,
appreciate the time for this, really.
well, no, no,
So,
I don't. You're not getting away that
but
fast.
hopefully,
I have a
oh no,
little rapid fire.
go for it.
What is your favorite book?
My favorite book. Ooh, you pick a person that doesn't read often. However, um, of the ones that I have read, I will say, and I will admit that the Harry Potter series has been my favorite series that I've read thus far.
I like it. What about music?
Oh, well, don't chastise me for this part, but I would say I'd like a lot minus country at the moment. So my
Did you used
playlist
to
goes.
like country, but right now it's just out?
I've never gotten into it, we'll just say.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, anything from like pop to rock to some of the classic rock. So my playlist kind of goes up and down and all over. So it's a very unusual one at times.
I love it. Okay. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Ooh, best advice I've ever received. I would I would almost say someone who told me to go with my gut, at least trust my gut. Um, I will admit there are times that the gut has taken me down the wrong path, but more often than not, it was one that says trust your gut. If something doesn't feel right, there's a very good chance it might just go south. Or if it feels like the right way to do that. And I have to say that has probably taken me to better places when I did trust my gut.
Absolutely. As an engineer, you have to. I would just think that, I mean, if we're all trusting you, right? So you got to at least trust yourself. So with the next question, kind of around industry, what would you tell a young or new early career person, we'll go engineer, coming into the pump industry? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say if they're getting into the industry, be ready to learn. Just be open to learn and be ready to listen. There's probably two pieces there, but yeah, ready to learn, ready to listen because there's a lot of information that's there. Um, there's so much just deep knowledge that people have and taking the time to be able to listen and truly listen. I know some people kind of sit, okay, hear some words come out, but really engage and listen, be willing to also ask questions. But that is, I would say the biggest thing is just be ready to do that. And that would take them much further than they think. Um, Thinking the ones that I've seen that believe they know everything. Um, unfortunately, those don't last as long, or they end up, well, I'll just say falling on their face a lot, and that's and I like for good engineers to avoid that.
Okay, last question. I saw that you had been there for like 20 years. What keeps you there? Is it because you've had several jobs within the same company, but what, from your perspective, what keeps you working there?
Oh man, it. One, where to start? Some of it is going to sound kind of corny. I know some people are like, oh, they're just, he might be just saying it. Um, what really does keep me here, and some who might find the corny are the people. Um, there has been a great number of people I continue to work with. There are different groups that I have to interface with, and they've been and all of them are wonderful. So that really keeps me motivated to just stay here. People always say, hey, the grass is greener on the other side. It always looks that way. And maybe sometimes it's true for some. But as I look back, and again, this is really my second company out of school. And as I look back to where I used to be, where I am here, and just the different types of people I get to interface with, that is what I find to be the most enjoyable, and it keeps me coming. And I think the second thing, at least with the role I'm in now, is just I mentioned the learning, kind of the be quiet, listen, and learn type of thing for new engineers. I feel like even a person who's been here for many years, that is something that I have to remind myself of, regardless of who I'm talking to, because there's so much to learn from them as well. So the people I work with are great, very hospitable, very nice to work with, but they're also so much to learn from them regardless. So, and I've always enjoyed that. And I think as I can continue to keep learning, that will continue to keep piquing my interest to keep coming and coming back.
I love it. It is all about the people. I love that part of it. And we talk about that a lot, of course, on the podcast and through empowering in general. We are closing out the year with Empowering Pumps and Industry Conference and really excited that. Love being a partner with y'all. Thank you for your support. And for the rest of you, share this episode, send some love and some feedback on the new drive. Can't wait to hear more about that. And until next time, be empowering.
Thank you.